Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be doing a video on the reality of the Philippines. And I've had a few people write to me recently saying, Steve, you're all gloom and doom, And I try to stay off that subject sometimes, but, when 1/3 to 1/2 of the people that come over here go home, it should tell you something. That it's not all milk and honey over here, You're not in Kansas anymore, let's put it that way, And a lot of people that come over here think that it's very similar to the United States that have never been here before, and it's not even close. And you kind of have to make your own place here. You have to build your own foundation, and you have to build your life up from there and make it equal to what you want here. We've talked about that a little bit before, but a lot of people come over here and they have this altered reality of the Philippines. Like everything is going to be great. I'm going to have a beautiful girlfriend over here right off the bat as soon as I get off the plane. And that's all possible. Okay, it's all possible. And to some people, they meet their girlfriend right at the airport, and that's fine. That's great, because some people are way ahead of the game. They plan and stuff like that. But some of the people out there think like I'm painting something that's not real, like the gloom and doom doesn't exist over here. And that's just that's fake, One thing over here that I've noticed, and I usually don't watch a lot of the other vloggers, and there are some good vloggers out there that also tell the truth too, is I don't sell you a bunch of crap. Okay, I won't sell you this crap out there that everything is beautiful, everything is fine, everything is going to be clean. I tell you the reality of it because that's the truth, because I want you to be prepared when you come over here to know what's going on. And I don't know what it is with people, but they don't want to hear that. They want to hear these other people. And there's a lot of vloggers out there that are selling this bull crap to new expats out there. They're showing the palm trees, the beaches and stuff like that at resorts. They're showing these nice condos and stuff like that. And then in the same breath, they're practically telling you you can live over here on $600 or $800 a month and live like them. And these are vloggers that are making anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 a month on top of whatever they're getting from home. So that's just lying outright right there. The reality of it is that there are problems with Forex. There are problems with inflation over here. There are problems with cleanliness. There are a lot of problems over here. There's problems with scammers. There's problems with neighbors. There's problems with dogs. There's problems with roosters. Let's just accept the reality, And it's just part of what it is here. Now, I've made the Philippines mine. You know what I mean? I've made it my home. I've made it my home by changing a few things over here around me and learning how to adapt. Now, a lot of people can't adapt. And if you're a person that's angry and mad, and that's your personality, and you come over here, you're probably still going to be angry and mad unless you leave that back home. We've talked about that before too. But coming over here and thinking that you're going to have the perfect world over here, it's just not true. In fact, if you come over here and you got a personality where, everything sucks back home, then when you come over here, and if you bring that over here, you're going to think it's 10 times worse over here because you're living in maybe a grungy home. Maybe you don't have a lot of money. Maybe you did come over here on one of those $600, dollar budgets or $800 budgets or whatever, and you're finding out now that it's not a fun style of living because you can't travel about and do the things that you want to do. You're learning from not planning and not listening. Okay? The people that usually end up going back home, and I've seen this in my neighborhood because we had a Canadian here that was living on a low budget. Okay? And he ended up going back home, and I've never seen him since. So he stayed home. Okay? He stayed home. Now, I don't know if that's because of the tourist visa thing. I don't know what he had for a visa. I'm not quite sure. I think he had some sort of other visa, but I could be wrong on that. Or maybe he's being held back because of the quarantine or something like that. And maybe he will be back later. That's a possibility. But a lot of people here, what they do is they find, he was actually talking about when he left, of going back to work. So I would expect that he probably won't be back, or he'll be back sometimes later on in the game, because he was a lot younger than me. So I think he's probably going to come back over here, like probably in another 5 or 10 years. Maybe he'll keep in touch with his girlfriend. Maybe he won't. I have no idea what his story is. But and right now is like the world is a different place, so it's hard to travel, and it's hard to find out what's going on with a lot of these people. But once we reopen here, if you're watching these other vloggers out there that are selling you this line that everything is beautiful here, and it is a beautiful place here, but when you live in most of the towns here, they're dirty, they're grungy, there's a lot of pollution, and any Filipino back in the States will tell you the same thing. They will tell you that the Philippines has a lot of pollution, it's dirty, it's not clean, it's not like most parts of the United States. And in most parts of the United States, you know, it's fairly clean, except when you go to like New York City or Skid Row or some of the inner cities where it's not the nicest place in the world. It's really hot here today, guys. But anyway, I just don't want to sell people a false bill of goods. And I've told people this before, and I've got so many comments about gloom and doom, and I don't try to sell gloom and doom, guys. I don't. I want you to know that 1/3 to half the people do go home. And they're not going home because the Philippines is beautiful and everything is fine here. They're going home because of the fact that, number one, they can't afford it. Number two, they're finding out that the health care is not up to par, that they're having health issues. There's reasons why people go home. These people all intended to come here and stay here, and they left. Think about that for a second. They intended to come here, but they left. That tells me that there is issues here. You know, so don't sell yourself a false bill of goods yourself. You know, and then come back and tell me, Steve, you're all gloom and doom. I'm trying to get you to understand that there's good and there's bad here. And I'm going to tell you the good as much as I am about the bad, because both of them are together. They're in the same place. They're here. You know, they both exist together. And you have to understand that. I wake up days here, I accept, like in Vietnam they used to say, you know, like they used to talk about the suck. You know, I accept the suck here, okay? I understand, you know, there is a certain level of things that suck here. You know, and I'm not trying to be rude or crude or anything like that. I'm just trying to tell you the reality. Sometimes I wake up here and, you know, we have problems with neighbors here or whatever, or we have problems with, you know, noise with a karaoke machine off in the distance or something like that. Most of the time where I live, it's pretty quiet, with the exception of the cicada bugs or whatever making all that noise in the background that you can probably hear. It sounds like a loud whistle, like a pot of tea that's starting to whistle, you know, on the stove or something like that. That's what it sounds like. It's kind of irritating sometimes, but after a while you get used to it. That's part of the bad stuff here, okay? And after a while you learn to adjust to it and live with it, okay? And most people adjust pretty well over here to it after being here for a while. But guys, if you can accept the suck, and that's the sucky part of being over here, then you'll be fine over here. You know, I get on jeepneys every day. I sweat. You know, I jump in a tricycle. I can barely, it's like getting into a cardboard box or one of the clowns in a clown car because they're so small. You know, and I got to ride to the mall like that, all crouched up and crunched up, and ride like I'm getting shipped to Guam or something like that in a package. You know, it's tight. You know, you ride around these tricycles. It's not fun. That's part of adjusting to the suck over here, you know, and it's just the way it is, guys. It's something you have to get used to. If you can't get used to that, then this place probably isn't for you. But in the end, I love the Philippines. I will always love the Philippines. It'll always have a place in my heart. What are the things that I hate the most over here? Sometimes the bureaucracy, but I learned to live with it. I accept it. You know, it's just part of the, you know, this paperwork everywhere you go, it seems like, especially with the quarantine. Just to get into the mall, I got to fill out a document to go into the mall and have my temperature taken. And, you know, they wand you over to check and see if you have any weapons on you or anything like that. They check your little backpack if you have a backpack, things like that. It's part of life over here. It's part of something that you have to accept. But when I'm home, I love it here. Because I have a certain peace and calmness here. As you can see, it's quiet here. You don't hear many vehicles here. Yeah, I hear the cicada bug, an occasional dog bark, and my dog might bark once in a while, and it's really, really quiet here. And this area here is actually a perfect area for expats. So if you guys, anybody looking to move to Tracy Maude Terrace, this area on this street, if you can find something in this area, it's a good place to be because you're kind of in the center of everything. And I've said this before. And this is the good part. I'm going to tell you the good part about why I live here, okay? The good part is I walk up probably about 100 feet up here, 150, not even 150 feet, 100 feet I'll say. I walk 100 feet up here. I'm at the street. I can get a jeepney over to Das Marinas or anywhere I want to go. Imus, I can get a jeepney anywhere I need to go, okay? I walk 300 feet up to the next road, probably about 300, 400 feet, up to the next road, okay? And I can jump on a bus up to Manila, and I can go to Mall of Asia. I can go to Red Lobster or whatever. I might have to stop and get a cab, because I get out in Manila, I have to take a cab or whatever, but the cabs are cheap. And I can go to these other places, okay? I can go to Texas Roadhouse. I can go to Outback. I can go to, what's the other one? Subway. I can go to Subway. Or I can just walk around Manila and just enjoy myself and do some shopping or something like that. When, it's a nice feel to know that when I walk out my door, within 5 minutes I can be on an air-conditioned vehicle going up to Manila. That's a good feeling. And usually it's cheap enough for me to come back here where I can get a grab for about $1,200 to $1,500 from Manila back here to my house in a grab, and they'll drop me off right at the beginning of my walkway up here, about 100 feet. That's a good feeling, because I don't like to take the buses back, because usually when I'm coming back, it's usually rush hour. They're cramming people in. It's not that fun. It's kind of, it kind of takes away the fun of riding around in a bus and looking out the window. So I take the grab, and it's not that expensive. Now, those are the good things about here, the fact that I have freedom to travel around here pretty much, unless they have like lockdowns or something like that. And the quarantines are a bit cumbersome and can be kind of a pain right now. But those will go away eventually. They'll be gone, and I realize that. It might take a while. We don't know when this stuff is going to go away. We don't know if we'll ever reach 70% in the Philippines. And I think that's going to be a tough number to reach, is 70%. I mean, I think Duterte said something about when we're 50%, he'll open everything up, and that's what he was talking about. But I'm not sure if he's going to stick to that, because he changes his mind all the time, and everything always changes, with him. So you never know where he's going to be. But anyway, guys, I wanted to throw that out there about what the reality of the Philippines is. The reality is what you make of it. Remember that. It's what you make of it, not what other people make of it. Don't worry about the people around you and the way they live. Worry about the way you live. Because if you rent a home here, or you rent a small place like I rent, you can make it yours. Yeah, sometimes you neighbors aren't perfect or something like that, but you can work with that. You can help them out if they need help or something like that, or talk to them or whatever. It's easy. Most people are pretty reasonable and decent here. I get along great with my neighbors. I love my neighbors, and they're good people, and some of them I feel like they're my family, But anyway, guys, I just want to speak to that a little bit, because I don't want people to think that I'm speaking negative about the Philippines. I'm speaking the reality of the Philippines. It's not for everybody. And I don't think it's for people that have a lot of health issues to come over here. And I mean, I know some people say, well, Steve, they're probably not going to live that much longer anyway, so why not live it decent over in the Philippines? Well, here's the thing. Most of them come over here. They're unprepared, with no health insurance, no long-term care, no money in many cases, no backup money should they die or pass away or anything like that. That's the problem. That's why I say what I say when people are over 70. If you come over here and you got lots of money and you live near a good hospital over here, hey, knock yourself out. Come over here 80 or 90 if you got a lot of money in the bank. But what I think is a lot of money and what you think is a lot of money might be two different things. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if you have like $50 or $100,000 in the bank, and you have monthly income coming in, you'll probably be fine over here. You know, like with me, I plan. I'm lucky enough that I'm in that sweet spot that I can put away some of that money and save for my future and have that money growing and have it grow and grow and grow. When I reach my 70s, I'm gonna be pretty well off. Plus, I'm gonna have Social Security thrown in when I hit 65 or 68 or 67 or whenever I planned on taking it. You know, so that's the part. That's the key part. You know. But anyway, guys, I just want to throw that out there. You know, and let you guys know that, you know, 33 to 50% of the people do leave here. And there's probably even more than that now, because a lot of the tourist visas are butting up against that thing, and they can't come back in this quarantine thing right now. Now, not to say that those people aren't going to come back, because most of them will come back. They'll come back later. They will come back. My bet is that the majority of those people will come back here to live because this is their home. It's just that they got the wrong visa when they came here. So that's why I say, you know, when I talk about a tsunami of people coming in here, there is going to be a tsunami of people coming in here. And the plane tickets are going to reflect that, too, for a while. So when you guys get ready to come back in here, watch out for that, because, you know, if you're back home right now and you're one of those people that had to leave because of your tourist visa, or you get stuck because of your SRV visa or something like that, whatever, because there's a whole calamity of issues going on right now, and it's not even worth getting into that part. But what I'm saying is that once things do open up, there's going to be a mad rush to get back in here, because there's a lot of guys talking to girls already, and some people tell me, yeah, some of them you know, they won't pull the trigger to come over here, and that's probably true. A lot of them won't, because a lot of guys are all talk and stuff like that. I've seen a few people already that have taken my advice in their 70s for health reasons or whatever, or they're just getting too old to wait out this quarantine thing or this COVID thing, and they don't want to wait any longer to come over here to the Philippines. So they're saying, you know what, Steve, I think I'm just going to stay here. But they still watch my channel, and I thank you for watching my channel. I appreciate that. But anyway, guys, I just want to throw that out there, throw that information out there, because I don't want to sound like Debbie Downer, you know, and give you guys, you know, information that's going to make you feel down. I want you to be happy about coming over here. You can make it yours. You can be happy in the Philippines. You can succeed in the Philippines. If you listen to some of the videos that I did out there, those will help you. Those are to guide you. I did those to guide people, to make people become successful over here. Everyone can be successful over here. Everyone. Even on the lower budgets, you can be somewhat successful, but you're more likely to fail. Okay? That's why I put that out there about the bigger budgets, guys, because the lower budgets are more likely to fail. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.